Do you guys mind if I go first?
Sure.
Go ahead.
All right, I want to go first.
Never mind, I changed my mind.
Oh, fuck. I guess Joken goes first. This movie is the best Matrix sequel, hands down. It is so much better than 2 and 3.
It's a really low bar.
But it's easily like dwarfs both of them combined in
No.
terms of watchable.
I like 2. I have a soft spot for 2 because it's fun.
Yeah, but I'll take the action in 2 over this, but I'll take the actual movie that's here over the movie of 2.
That's tough because there are some things that I really don't like in this movie.
Dude, I can't stand that Merovingian who comes back for a couple minutes in this. Ugh. But no. So with this movie, I absolutely fucking love the story and the through narrative of Neo and Trinity and what they're
Yes.
trying to do with those characters. The analyst being so much better of a villain than what the hell's his name? The architect?
Yeah.
It's a forward progression of the story of the trilogy of
I
the
mean,
Matrix.
I wouldn't say like so much better, but it's a good progression.
It's brilliant. I would use the word brilliant to describe what they do with the villain of this movie versus as an extension of the villain of the last the trilogy. I guess you could say the analyst was a villain.
Yeah.
So what the hell is his name? I keep forgetting. The architect trying to subjugate humanity using logic and numbers, and that being his downfall. That's why the Matrix failed 6 times in a row. They keep rebooting it. They're like, perfect worlds don't work for them. Horrible worlds don't work for them. We tried to do the height of civilization. It's been working fine, but still we put all the anomalies into you, the one, and it still doesn't work. Why isn't it working? He kept crunching it as if it was an equation. He talked in riddles and equations and shit to Neo. And the analyst comes along, and when he realizes that Neo and Trinity being almost together but not perfectly, that generates the most power, keeping humanity subjugated in between this like really stressful place between what you fear and what you love, what you desire, all this stuff. That, oh my God, like that is such a brilliant forward-moving way to think about the story of the Matrix. Like, of course that's going to be what actually powers the Matrix. Of course that makes sense. That's what humans are so used to being. Like humans in their lives when we're so close to our goals but we can't get them, we just keep fucking trying for them. And that drives us and that motivates us so much more than any numbers or equations.
And some of the things that stop us from doing that are the fear of losing what you already have. And,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That you could argue that's what all of stress of life is.
Yeah.
Just a balance between those two things.
Yep.
That motivating the Matrix so much better than all 6 other versions. Damn, what a fucking brilliant actual way to frame the Matrix in this world. This is what you should do in a step forward from the trilogy.
Yeah, I agree.
So in that context,
both of the
it's
things
awesome.
you just said, I do really enjoy as well.
So the fact that they went this direction with it instead of, I don't know, just rehashing, oh, the analyst is back. We're going to try and have you have a choice
The analyst
again.
is here. The architect is back.
That's sorry, I keep
you're good,
I
you're
keep
good.
fucking them up. That's me. Oh, the architect's back with another fucking bullshit choice scene where he monologues. Like none of that. That's out. That's gone. It makes so much more sense here. I think that's so brilliant what they're doing with that. But we all know a movie only lives and dies by its execution, right?
Yeah.
So the execution with making it this meta, oh, Neo made the games, so that way now we can have this amazing pitch meeting where we make all game jokes and stuff like that and reboots and sequels and Merovingian says reboots and sequels. Like
Terrible. Yeah.
I can't stand that shit. I looked over because Joken, this is his first time watching this movie. I looked over, Joken's just like, oh, the whole fucking time.
Oh.
I felt that in the theater when that was happening. So I completely
For
agree.
you, it probably hurts more being such a big fan of the first one. I can't say fan of the franchise.
I was about to say I wasn't even that hurt by it because I've lived in a world my whole life with terrible Matrix sequels. I've only lived in that world. So for this to come along and be the best Matrix movie since the first Matrix, I'll take it. I'll fucking take it. I got part 2 and part 3 back to back. All right, I'm not looking for a great movie here. I just want one that's okay.
Yeah,
I got it. If we're gonna do scores before I pass it off to you, I'll just say that I gave it a 7 when it came out. I will give it a 6 out of 10. I'm still very mixed. I absolutely love a lot of what they do, and I really resent a lot of else what they do. So
Yeah. I think the biggest detriments for me are the execution and the things you were just talking about with the meta stuff. The meta stuff is so dumb. I like the idea of them trapping him in that iteration of the Matrix by making it a game and making it integrated into his life. And it makes sense because even Neil Patrick Harris says, you made a game that was supposed to be indistinguishable from reality. It took a toll on you, you know. They use that in an effective way, but the execution around it with all the meta jokes and stupid drivel garbage is just not interesting. The action in this movie, I think 90% of it's just not great. And it's really sad considering even when the movie struggles in 2 and 3, the action's fun as fuck, except the Zion scenes. Those are bad. Those are just bad. The kung fu in this movie is negligible. There's like 3 scenes that are really, really fun and interesting. Him fighting Morpheus slaps, him fighting Smith slaps. Like, you know.
Him fighting Morpheus, quote unquote.
Him getting his ass kicked by Smithpheus
Yeah.
is awesome.
Gets whooped.
But then there's like all the other stuff with the underdeveloped characters that they try to introduce and shoehorn in and make references, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
like who cares about Elduin and Joe and Bagumba
Who's Joe, Ian?
and Joe Mama? Like,
I got
and then the
Joe
robot
Quinn.
Ligma 8, and then the other one, Flabebe, the Pokemon. Like, it's who fucking cares? Don't introduce the characters if they're gonna name them and then leave.
Yeah, they literally leave the movie.
And they live.
The
If
girl,
you killed them, I don't care.
there's one. Okay, so Sequoia, he
Sequoia.
was the tech guy. He has like
Yeah.
maybe a handful of lines.
Yeah.
The guy who also is from
Shepard.
Sense8, Shepard.
Yes.
Oh, Shepard is the guy in real life.
Wolfgang from Sense8.
Wolfgang, yeah,
He's
he's there.
Shepard.
He has a handful of lines. Other guy who's also from Sense8 with like the weird hair and the crazy eye.
Mm-hmm.
He's there.
Is that the ship pilot?
The fact that we can't even fucking distinguish them. Like all these people, everybody from the crew that isn't Bugs or not Morpheus, like that core people,
Useless.
You know, they're
Yeah.
all completely derivative and crap.
Yeah.
And that is a criticism that I, again, don't agree with, but I understand from the first Matrix, like, oh, Switch and APOC or fucking nothing.
Yes, but then everyone else at least matters.
Yeah, Cypher has a massive arc. I think the fact that Cypher betrays them adds weight to those characters being there because they go through this storyline in the real world parallel to the Matrix world.
Yeah.
As opposed to this where they're just there.
Yep.
Yeah, they just show up, say hi.
Very,
and leave.
very bad. I don't like that. And a lot of the fighting, like I mentioned, is just not interesting. A lot of it's either really group, quote, quote, kung fu, where it's just a bunch of people punching each other and it's indiscernible and you can't really tell what's happening.
Mhm.
Or Keanu Reeves holding out his arms and making force fields. And I don't think that's interesting. Even when he has his amazing god power in 3 and somewhat in 2, he uses it tactically while also doing the fun stuff that you like.
Yep.
This movie has no balance between it. It's either you're having fun or you're not. And there's way more you're not.
Oh boy, I'm not.
I think I said it in the review, but the Matrix series is known for its revolutionary action. The fact that all the action in this was like normal
Or
and
boring.
like basic, and
It's either there's the 2 standouts, but like even though they're standouts in this movie, they'd be considered the weak parts of the other ones.
they would absolutely be considered the weak parts of the other ones.
Especially since both of the fights I like are callback fights that are much better than the other ones.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not the kind of guy to be like, oh, this is only good, it's not great. But when you're in this franchise where the expectation has to be great,
Especially for the fights, yeah.
that is a step down, and it's worth pointing out here.
It's a huge step down in my opinion.
it's not it for
And
me.
the character work besides Neo, Trinity, Morpheus, Smith, Analyst, which 4 of those are returning characters.
Yep.
How are you gonna only adapt one new good character?
Okay, to be fair.
I know those are the important ones.
No. Even in the first, second, and third ones, outside of the main leads, you don't get a lot of character development. You really don't.
But it's better than only learning their names and then nothing else.
That's kind of, from what I remember with the first 3, that's kind of what happens.
Joke and I'll agree in the second and third ones.
Okay.
No, because you get Niobe in the second and third ones. You get Clear the Nebuchadnezzar for takeoff.
You don't get him.
You don't get him.
You understand his character motivations.
It's a cool, tough general.
You
Period.
like
Like, there's nothing to him.
This series as a whole doesn't do a good job explaining side characters. And I think that is fair to say.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first one does a better job with most of the crew members.
I will live and die by the first one. Joke and I agree for 2, 3, and
The
4.
second one does it good with Niobe.
Mm-hmm. I want to get into this.
Get into it. I'm ready.
This is a franchise that when I watched the first one many years ago, I already was like, I'm not a huge fan of this.
Mm-hmm.
Watch it again with you. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe it's a little better, but I'm still not a big fan of this.
Yep.
Watch the rest of the movies, 2 and 3, to get myself hyped up for the 4th one. And I'm like, man, I'm still not that big of a fan of this. I liked the third one, but to be fair, my appreciation for the third one is super fucking surface level because I like the fucking end Smith fight. It's like
it's like a lot of fun.
It's like Ian with the Burly Brawl.
Right, I totally see
it's
that.
the
Yeah.
same level.
You mean the best scene in any film?
Exactly. So here, that being said, and I know this is gonna get me fucking crucified.
This is the best one. Don't say that.
He might.
Don't say that.
All right, I won't.
Joker, how do you feel?
I probably have to rewatch 3, but this is. I want to get with the pros first. It's very digestible.
Yo, is that a pro?
Oh yeah.
Do you hate corn?
Bro, I love corn.
Corn has a decent taste.
Yeah, but it's not digestible.
Your body will try.
Why do humans insist on eating corn? I don't get
It's
it.
cheap to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a good point. Sorry, go on. About the Matrix.
It's very digestible. I like the way things are shot.
Yup.
The fights aren't interesting, but like the effects are the best they've ever been in most cases.
I disagree with that very strongly. Are you talking about like?
I really do I do like the color grading compared to the other movies. I think it does a better job fleshing things out. Neo and Trinity's relationship actually feels real in this one compared to the others, where in one it was like, oh man, I'm gonna fall in love with the one. That's gonna be my whole character arc. 2, it's hey, let's fuck in the mosh pit. 3, it's hey, let's go fucking to I don't know, Michael Clark Duncan.
He's not even in the movie.
Let's go
Joker, you actually are summing up the plots of those pretty well.
Exactly.
You're not wrong.
I don't know. This is probably the best one, and I know that's
wow.
disgusting for you too to hear that, but
Joaquin. So
Can I? Do you mind?
no, go right
Yeah.
I
ahead.
want to say that like of all of them, this is my second favorite Matrix movie. So I'm not even. I feel better rather than you saying the third one's the best one, which is my least favorite Matrix movie. But I'd rather it be like second best.
Hey, you know what? We still hate 2, right?
We still hate 2.
All right, we can
always
shake
agree
on that.
2 fucking sucks.
Bad.
But
Bad
no,
opinion,
so
bad
yeah,
opinion.
I totally see why you see this way, especially because you're somebody who doesn't really jive with the first Matrix very well.
yeah, it's
don't,
okay to be
So,
wrong.
You didn't really like that one very much. The second one is crap, which I agree with.
Hey.
And then the third one you liked more than most, but you still don't think it's like a
I don't think it's a good film.
So the fact that this comes out, if that's your mentality walking in, I can totally see why you'd like this one the best. And for the reasons that I ranted on at the beginning of this exact video, obviously there's a lot going for it.
Oh yeah. Plus,
So-
and plus, like the stuff that I don't like, I still very much don't like. We're kind of in agreement on the stuff we don't like.
Why do we agree on every other Matrix movie?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
I don't get it
We
either.
agree perfectly on 2 and 4.
The odds and evens, bro.
Odds and evens.
I'll see you at Matrix 5.
Where we disagree very strongly.
Very,
apparently.
very. Strong.
We're due to have me love it and you hate it again.
Oh, absolutely.
That's
Or
what's gotta
Joaquin
happen.
will love it and you'll hate it.
No, because that was part 3.
That was part 3.
So now we got to do part 5. Where it's back to
well, I
1.
don't know about Joaquin loving it.
The soundtrack's not as good in this movie.
Oh, dude, can we talk about that? The
Yeah.
soundtrack
Oh yeah,
is weak.
it's disappointing.
It's so weak.
It's very
There
weak.
It's
are
like
very-
generic.
There are very few moments where I think they did some awesome soundtrack things. Like,
But
when-
it's just callbacks to the first soundtrack.
well, when Neo blasts Smith when he talks about Trinity through that wall because that's his like pressure point, and it cuts to the Matrix horns, harkening back to when he had the Matrix horns when he fought Smith in the subway. That's pretty wonderful.
But
I'd
it's
say
a-
that's it.
it's a callback.
No,
if-
it's an appropriate callback because
Yes,
obviously
I'm not
he's
saying
fighting
it's a
those
callback
powers.
as a bad thing. I'm saying it's a callback as in it is not an original music piece for this film.
Right. That
Where's
I
the
agree
good
with.
original music pieces for this film?
There's none. Dude, the cover, joking, I paused it really quickly when it ended, but you did not listen to the actual cover of Wake Up, which is the end song of the first Matrix, but covered this time. Dude, that song was ass. We listened to it in the theater. It is so bad. Dude,
yeah,
this
that's so bad.
fucking, because I like that song. I don't think it's the best song in the world or anything, that original
It's not
song.
even my favorite Rage Against the Machine song.
It's not even the best song in the first Matrix, but it's fine.
It's probably the worst song in the first Matrix.
Yeah, we got Club to Death. That's the banger.
Dragula banger.
Dragula banger. But yeah, no, so then they do that again to harken back to the original, like they do 17 more times in this movie, and it's like, well, okay, if you're gonna do that, make it like, okay, call out Sebastian Baum on YouTube did Wake Up Rage Against the Machine, the orchestral cover for the trailer, the second trailer for this movie. That is a fucking amazing cover.
It is
Why
good.
wasn't that at the end of the movie?
I agree.
I want to fan edit this, but change only that end part with that song there instead.
Yeah.
It's 1,000 times better.
It is really good.
It's
It
so
does
good.
sound
Can you
nice.
also remove the meta shit, please?
No, that's the first third of the movie.
It's-
Can you get rid of the first of the movie?
The first third.
Yeah, the first third of this movie is like really weak.
It's so fucking.
It's the second weakest segment of a Matrix movie.
Again,
Bro.
the trailers for this movie did not do it any favors.
I will say, take out the meta stuff, and I know it's a lot of the movie, but if you rewrote the meta stuff to
It's
not
not
be that,
even a lot of them. It's not even like crucial to the movie.
it's not.
Frankly, I mean,
Yeah.
they're making fun of them making another Matrix. Oh, good
Right.
on you. You still took that paycheck at the end of the day, bro.
Yeah, and it went on for a half hour of screen time.
Yeah.
But-
It's the second weakest segment of a Matrix movie.
Right, and when you get into the actual plot, it's about the Analyst and Neo and Trinity almost being together, and that generating like that's the point. It has nothing to do with the meta stuff.
Yeah, you
Yep.
asked me earlier, like, why is it different from here? Why is it different here to Space Jam 2? And I know we keep bringing up Space Jam.
We jokingly jab each other.
But
about
let's actually get into that.
that, okay.
Space Jam 2 is a comedy, even if you disagree with that.
I agree that it's a comedy.
Okay,
I'm not saying it's a good one, but I can't disagree.
it's just more fitting there than it is here. The Matrix was never about that kind of in-humor. And when you try to make it about that, it falls flat on its face.
It didn't
Joking-
fall flat. It's convex, bro.
Dude, it did a fucking backflip.
It did Neo jumping off in the first movie and bouncing on the ground.
Yeah.
Joke and I completely agree. In a stupid comedy like that, that's where it belongs, as opposed to in The Matrix, which the first Matrix is a very serious movie. There's
Very
no, like,
serious.
stupid meta crap. There's no like hokey dokey.
All
Warner
the
Brothers.
Matrixes are fucking serious,
The
except for this one.
Matrices.
The
Yeah.
Matrices.
Yeah.
This one surprisingly gets serious as it goes along, but it starts so silly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so silly to
And
start.
that's a detriment too, because I feel like even the things that you like giggle at in 1, 2, and 3, because there is some funny, inadvertently funny stuff. Like it's not funny. It's like it's not like ooh comedy. It's like because there are funny things in serious moments and in real life that are normal. It's not intentionally trying to be funny. It's this is a moment of brevity and levity in these times, because you can't just have something be just serious the entire time. That's not how real life works.
I think a through narrative with every movie the Wachowskis have made after The Matrix. Joking, I know you've only seen like 2 and 3 basically.
Yeah.
You haven't seen Speed Racer, Cloud Atlas, Jupiter
You're
Ascending,
lucky.
all these fucking
You're really
dumpster
lucky.
fires.
You're double lucky.
Triple lucky.
You're the luckiest man on earth.
A through narrative with the Wachowskis and now Wachowski that are creating these movies is that the scripts they're writing are scripts that think that they're smarter than they actually are. Like they
Oh
all
my
strive
God.
for really, really high marks when they're like hitting like the second to last rung. And like they really believe that oh dude, this is like fucking crazy mindfuck. Whoa. They mindfucked us once. It was The Matrix. It's the best movie ever. I'll stand by it. That's it.
Yeah.
Cloud Atlas pissed me off, and Jupiter Ascending put me to sleep. Like there's nothing there. So I don't know. It's a really weird world we're living in.
Yeah. It's the Matrix.
The Matrix Resurrections, which I get you're trying to keep like the re-title on all the sequels, but like
That just makes it more confusing because I'm just gonna call it 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4.
my whole life, everybody I know mixes up Reloaded and Revolutions. Now you get to
That's
add
because
Resurrections.
Reloaded should be the third one, because they literally reload it.
They reload it at the end.
And there's a revolution in the second one.
That's true. It makes sense if you swap the titles.
Yep.
It's like Dawn and War of the Apes. Those should have been swapped.
Yep.
But in any case, the fact that you have a third one in there, it's just looking back, it's like, oh my god, there's just no keeping track.
Yep.
And you know what? Like
No, I don't know what.
Please
I've
tell us what.
I've only talked bad about this movie. But like
That's why I started with all my positives. 'Cause
honestly, like I do really appreciate the Neo Trinity relationship. I do like what they did with Morpheus a lot. The main thing going for it is the potential of the things I like in it continuing, because it's not fleshed out enough, and that's a really big problem. You're not supposed to judge movies on potential. You're supposed to judge it on what the fuck it's here. And a lot of the stuff that's here, I think, is really, really unfleshed, underdeveloped, except a very few key things that I think they did really well. You know what I mean? Like, this movie has a potential to bring back The Matrix in a new, fun, exciting way if they make a fifth one. You know, you have more Morpheus Smith stuff. You have more Just Smith stuff because he's free to roam again.
And let's be
Like-
honest, they're gonna make a 5th one. They're gonna make a 6th one. They're gonna.
Probably not soon. They'll probably wait longer because this one, it's not like it really blew the doors open here.
Bring back Hugo Weaving.
Another part of that too is like when it comes to like making one or not, if this is the last one, let's say for a long period of time, like how Revolutions, see, I'm fucking it up. Revolutions was the last one for a long time. As a series, you can look at the Matrix saga and say, okay, if the third one was the end, this one is like an epilogue. Like this is, hey, where did they end up? Because, oh, I'm sorry, but Trinity ending up where she ends up is a fucking deserved thing from those movies. Trinity gets fucking shafted, literally in part 2. But also, she gets like the shaft
And in part
treatment.
3, she gets that right through her chest.
That's true. She gets chest shafted. She gets really shafted in more ways than one in that
Double
series.
shaft.
And I feel like that character is literally like the second main character of the entire fucking series besides Smith. I feel like she doesn't have a whole lot of moments to shine. Like, literally think about it. In the first one, she's just there to bring Neo in and fall in love, and that's a great arc, and I'm totally all down with that. Then the second one, she dies at the start, then spends the movies seeing her death and about to die, and then she dies and then comes back. And then the third one, she dies again, but this time it's permanent, quote, quote, until now. Like, she doesn't really get to do much. Whereas this one, she's been through the ringer, and of course the fucking one powers would transfer to her because this is the first one of all the Matrixes to fall in love. This makes sense. That's why I keep raving about how much I fucking love what they do with the characters in this movie. This is the first version of the one they've established in all 3 of the other ones that has fallen in love. All the other 6 did not have that aspect, and that's why it was a choice for him in the architect scene in the second one to do that, with whether it's Trinity or Zion. Having this happen, having her be the one to act the quote, quote, one powers of this version of the Matrix in the next iteration if they're resurrected, I'm sorry, but that's just fucking amazing. Plus, it carries over with the fact that they have that amazing power when they almost touch, but they're not quite there, representing the humanity stuff and how we act in our lives. There's so much going on with her character in this 4th one than in all 3 of the other ones. And it's built off of those other 3. And I fucking love that.
I do too.
That right there is like, that really hits. And that's why, like, yeah, I hate all the meta shit. Yeah, I think the action's weak. Yeah, I think they should have fucking waited for Hugo Weaving to be available. But at the end of the day, this movie still delivers.
Honestly, the new guy didn't do that bad.
No, he's fine.
He's
He
fine.
didn't do that bad. but
He's fine, but he's not Agent Smith.
you watch those scenes and you listen to that dialogue and you're like, damn, if Weaving were here, you know that performance would just crush those dialogue bits.
Yeah.
Well, like at the same time, they had the setup where like, oh, no one else can see you as Neo because you're just this old man. So it's the same idea with Smith.
Yeah.
Maybe he
You
does
can
see
you can
himself.
only be you. I can be anyone.
Yeah.
And
that's-
I
yeah.
think if they bring him back, he's like, hey, guess who found someone who looked like himself again?
Yep. That's great.
I can be anyone, but I much prefer this body.
The truce though?
Yes.
That's great.
Yes!
That's what I liked. That's stuff I like to see.
Yeah.
because obviously
That's character evolution.
right. Because obviously Smith and Neo had a common enemy because the analyst was fucking them both.
Exactly.
Because Smith is from the previous version. So, oh my god, the fact that Smith bailed Neo out towards the end to help him get him on his path so they could both be free, because Smith's whole fucking deal is being free.
Yep.
In the whole fucking series, like, oh, of course. So that's why, like, they do a lot of really good shit with, like, this is what the trilogy built to. These are the themes that started here and are now forward moving. This is not something like, say, a straight just retread of those movies. And yes, they use the formula and the pacing of the first movie a lot. They use a lot from the first movie.
They do. I think they call back a little bit too much.
I agree. Even take out the meta shit, they still call back a little bit too much.
Yep. They call back a little bit too much. A lot of weird flashes in scenes that, like, I understand him flashing at the beginning when he's having, like, psychotic breaks and stuff, but I think once he's fully adapted back into it, he shouldn't be having those flashes anymore. I think that's just fan service.
I know. I agree completely.
But then I wouldn't have seen that scene from the Burly Brawl again, so...
I like that Matrix 2 and 3 both get sort of equal representation.
I do
here.
too.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
that's
it's important. It's important.
Yeah.
It's very
I'm not
important.
going to lie.
Um,
Listen.
I mean, look, the Wachowskis love their own movies. Obviously, they're going to represent all three.
Here's my question: is this the best Wachowski? The best film done by a Wachowski? Because obviously both didn't work on this
Since The Matrix?
Since the original Matrix.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
what's better?
Having
Speed
having
Racer?
done the Wachowski-thon, I can't rank that. Obviously,
I kind of like Bound better, but if we're saying since The Matrix,
Yeah,
Since
Bound was
The
before.
Matrix.
this is probably
All right, I'm gonna have an
Stop making movies.
I'm gonna have an unpopular opinion in this room.
Uh oh.
All right, I'm gonna give this movie a score.
Oh, he's gonna say 2's better.
Oh my
no.
God, he's gonna say 2's better.
So
gonna say
I
2
think
is
this
better.
movie is like maybe a 6. Like I agree with you, Jake.
Okay.
But
Would you give it 2 a 7?
I think 2 is also maybe a 6.
Oh, okay.
2 is a lot more fun to watch, in my opinion. It has way more fun scenes, a bitchin' soundtrack, and the stuff that I don't like it as like I hate it less strongly.
Well, I'll say.
You know what I mean?
I already said my score was 6. Joaquin, what'd you say your score was?
I think I said 6.
Oh, we're all in
We all
agreement.
agree.
Why do we agree on this? I feel like this is the one we should have disagreed on the most.
No.
all-
This one's pretty cut and dry, barely passable.
We all kind of are like, yeah, it's okay.
Well, we all obviously rank the series differently,
Yeah.
which I think we should get into. I would rank it part 1, 4, 2, 3.
1, 2, 4, 3. 2 is so fun.
4, 3, 1, 2.
Sorry, that's just a funny ranking.
That's an awful ranking.
The Matrix is the third best Matrix. I don't know about all that.
Fun fact: The Matrix.
The other ones are so good.
yeah, exactly.
I think. Listen, 2 compared to this, like if you're telling me right now, gun to my head, all right, Ian, Matrix 4 and Matrix 2, I want to watch the one where I can have way more fun watching.
All right, Ian, Matrix 4, but I don't kill you after. Matrix 2.
Matrix 2, but you kill me after.
I kill you after, and I skip the burly brawl.
No, you can't do that.
Oh, I'm
because
doing
that's
it.
like the most fun. Actually, you know what? The freeway scene's better than any scene in this movie. Still.
No.
And the Matrix fight better than any scene in this movie.
Any action scene, I'll agree.
Yep.
Any action scene?
There are way better. There are like 5 better moments in 2 than in this movie.
In terms of action, I'll agree with you.
Yeah.
But in terms of actual story and development, 2 is ass.
I do not care about actual story and development when there's a 1 hour of fun in 2.
I mean, you call it fun.
It's fun, bro.
I like the Chateau fight quite a bit.
The Chateau fight slaps.
I like most of
The
the
freeway
race.
fight slaps.
I don't like the burly brawl.
The Burly Brawl is so funny, bro. It's the best.
I can't tell if you actually like the burly brawl.
The
does.
Burly Brawl is unironically my favorite scene I've ever seen in a movie. Like, if you were telling me, Ian, you can watch any action scene, I'm watching the Burly Brawl.
Oh my god.
Character scene, like, you know, the Hark scene from the lighthouse, that's a banger. Like, but like if we are talking strictly action scenes, it's the Burly Brawl at number 1.
Oh man, it's not a number 1.
1.
Remember when he hits that Smith with the post and
No,
then
and he spins like a helicopter.
the
Yeah.
helicopter in the air?
Bro,
and
I ain't
propelling?
gonna lie to you. Some of the Agent Smiths in Space Jam: A New Legacy look more convincing than the Burly Brawl Smiths.
Hey,
Dude,
Jokewood.
if you pause the Burly Brawl at certain points, they're just a bunch of non-weavings.
Oh my God, there he is, Hubert.
Hubert Weaveson.
Oh my
But
god! But my
no.
favorite scene, honestly, my favorite scene of The Matrix is the scene in 3 where it's just like a bunch of Hugo Weavings looking around.
Oh.
That was fucking great.
Oh my god.
Dude, I'm just saying, like,
He repositions
does
his
this
tie.
does this movie have some character moments that I like? Sure. Does it have anything interesting outside of like those couple of those moments?
I don't know. I'd say the story is awesome.
I think
Well, okay, the second half.
elements of the story are good.
I think it's the best story.
No, one.
I
and
see
then
why you think that though, because I'm also kind of jiving with this story. It's kind of great.
I think it builds a lot off of its predecessors, and you can't. It's like when we talked about the Suicide Squad. I'm gonna bring this in correctly, I promise. Where Jake was talking, oh man, James Gunn's so smart with Harley Quinn. Bruh, they had 2 movies of Harley Quinn story to go. If he didn't do this, he'd be dumb.
Yeah,
Like,
But that's
you had
still-
3 Matrix movies to go. If they didn't do that, they'd be dumb.
he still did it the best of all 3. Like, he
But he
still-
built off of the other 2. You can't just discredit 1, 2, and 3 and say 4 has a
I'm
good
not
story.
discrediting
You know what I
them.
mean?
I'm
I'm telling
saying-
Joquin.
Oh, okay.
Joquin.
You can tell Joquin.
Listen,
What's up?
1, 2, and 3
Uh-huh.
built the foundation for this story. I think, regardless of how you feel about any 3 of those movies, without 1 being as solid as it is, without 2 and 3 being there,
So what you're
This movie has
what
nothing.
you're arguing is I don't frankly I don't even know what you're arguing. You can't. You're saying oh well, if 1, 2, and 3 didn't exist, we didn't get this one. Therefore, 1, 2, and 3
no
has
shit,
to be better.
Joe Quinn. But like,
No, I just don't understand what your argument is here.
let me try to articulate this in a way that makes sense. You're fucking snow, okay? Because of Neo and Trinity's relationship and Neo and Smith's relationship branching across all three, which I think Neo and Smith's relationship in all three is absolutely solid throughout.
I think it's solid here as well. I just think the
It's
actor
solid
I would
here.
have preferred to be Hugo.
well,
but
obviously.
the character I think is an excellent extension.
Yes. Oh man, would I rather have Jonathan Groff, man I've never heard of, or my favorite actor of all time, G?
Yeah, exactly. But no, in terms of what they did with Smith, I think it was awesome in this.
Yeah.
Smith, I will say this to your credit, Joaquin. Smith has been an awesome character in
All
all four
Yep.
movies.
He is the best character in all four movies.
That's
He is
probably
my-
not even an argument.
Maybe.
I like him. I like Neo, obviously. Neo's the main character. I like Trinity. I think Trinity's a little bit weaker in the first
He's
three.
a good opposing force, and honestly, I'm kind of a sucker for when a villain he doesn't turn good in this, but like has to join a hero.
He has to work with him in order to further his own goals.
Yep.
And honestly, if he just did that in like Matrix 2,
Dude, that's an inversion of the end of the third one where Neo and the machine world have to team up to stop Smith.
Yeah.
Neo and Smith teamed up to stop the machine world in this one.
Yes.
Woohoo! You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That means the next one, Smith and the machine's got to team up to stop Neo. I don't know what the fuck. That was the first one. Wait, that was the
Smith
first
and
one.
That
Never
is the
mind.
first one.
It's li-
Oh, the series has done the full gambit
it's
here.
a full circle.
Make a sandwich.
God, I love this being the fourth one. I love this being the end to this series. If it is the end, I don't know when they're gonna make more. But if this is the last one they do, god damn! Finally, the Matrix series has like some kind of satisfying conclusion.
It'll probably be a TV show.
I would fucking love like an HBO because it's Warner, like a nice fucking Matrix show. That'd be sick.
That's what I think. they
I-
do.
fun-
Fun
really
fact,
hope
for
so.
TV shows, Hugo Weaving will probably be available for.
I fucking hope so. You gotta get him back. Get him and Jonathan Groff. Get them both. They can play the same character. Two versions.
Dude,
Oh,
just have it be like mirror scenes.
mirror scenes.
Hugo Weaving's more expensive, so just having him in a mirror, like that's fine.
Dude, yeah, and when he's fighting, you can see him like switch back and forth.
Yeah.
Maybe there's variants of Smith that kind of conflict with each other. Imagine that. How fucking cool. Dude, there's just so much here. I gotta calm down because ideas about making Matrix stuff, I can go all day.
Yeah.
I can go all
That's
day.
what I think a lot of this movie has. It has a lot of promise for more. And if they don't do more, I think the movie's weaker.
I think as a standalone product, it's still fine.
Fine isn't acceptable enough for me. I want a banger.
Sure.
Like
But
two.
fine is acceptable enough for me because I don't think the others are fine.
Ian, we haven't gotten a banger since Matrix 1.
2.
No, it's
Well-
saying 2.
I like 2.
Three.
You are not going to change my opinion on 2. I love 2.
I don't know
You gave
why.
it a 6.
Hey,
I love it.
I said the same thing about Sonic. Banger. 6.
Oh man,
Two
that's
bangs.
so funny. All
2
right,
is so
well,
much fun.
what are our concluding thoughts?
The Matrix sequels are a bunch of mid and then bad. And that's it. And they made Lightning in a Bottle.
It's kind of weird
With the
that
first
Mud
one.
wasn't here for this.
Mid
Yeah.
wasn't here for this.
Fucking got him.
No, I love it.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear what Mudhut would have to say about this because I'm sure he'd be just as mad, if not equally more mad, that the Merovingian showed up when he did.
Oh my God, he's the worst. That is the worst 2 minutes of the movie. That being said,
Dude.
so by the way, when I said the 30-minute stretch of the beginning of this movie is the second worst segment in all of the Matrix, the Zion fight is the 40-minute worst segment of any of the
I
Matrix.
hate the Zion fight, dude. I
not
just
that bad.
edited parts 2 and 3, but obviously you on the channel just watched them recently. Dude, that Zion fight, man, that just went on.
Yeah, we got some commentary during that.
We
shit.
did. Yeah, it's us saying, wow, why won't this end? But yeah.
Boy, I sure wish this was over.
Yeah.
Boy, if this Zion stuff was over, this movie would be better. Fun fact: if you don't have that 40-minute Zion stuff, maybe the Matrix 3 is a 5.
Fun fact, it's already like a 5.
Hey, joke when that's.
If you take out the Zion stuff, I'm trying to think what's left. Neo versus Smith, and then it ends.
God, it's such a good climax to a
It
fucking
is so good.
franchise.
it's not a
Joquin,
climax anymore.
I kind of agree it's a mid-franchise if you aggregate them together. Because I have 2 bad movies and a mid, and
I
then
don't
the
know.
greatest movie
So we
ever
have
made.
2 10s.
No, we don't.
Even Ian's laughing at what he just fucking said.
I love the second one, man.
You
Listen,
okay? I'm not.
if we're going off of pure enjoyment factor, fuck yeah, the second one's a 10, bro. Got the Smith fight.
Oh my god! The Smith fight in 3 is better.
No.
Oh.
I do really like the Smith
Joke,
fight.
and I'll
too, though.
probably side with Ian. I don't think the Smith fight in 3 is better.
I think it's better.
Because it's mostly like a Dragon Ball ripoff with bad CGI.
Hey, I like Dragon Ball.
I don't like bad CGI Dragon
the
Ball.
Smith fight in that one, when they clash and then the water bubble.
Yes!
That's sick as fuck.
Yes!
Looks
I
like
will
shit.
agree. That fight is like a 9 out of 10. That being said, the Smith fight's like a 400. out
That
of
fight's the
10.
best part of 3, but there's no good part of 3 besides that, I think. All right, whatever. We've tangented off. I don't know. I really like what the
All right,
Matrix 4 almost did.
All right, hello, Wachowski. When you make 5, maybe get a different writer.